Hi everybody, this is Mr. Pyers. Today we'll be taking a look at a worksheet on colored pencil techniques. We set up 3 different sections for you to get accustomed to how colored pencil works and how to approach it in a manner that's going to give you the best results you can. So in the first section, mixing complementary colors, we're going to take 2 complementary colors and we're going to blend them to create darker and lighter tones. So if you see in the first one here, I'm going to take red. And the second one I'm going to take yellow. The third I'm going to take blue. And then the fourth I'm going to take black. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put base colors in these boxes. So in the first one was red, like I laid down first. The second one I'm going to do yellow. Just a nice even coat of yellow, not too harsh. The third section I'm going to take the blue and do the same thing. I'm holding the pencil pretty low, not putting a lot of pressure on the paper, keeping my lines close together as I bring a light version of the color in. I usually take a couple coats to get that laid in. In the fourth section on the black, we'll take care of that later. But what we're going to do is we're going to go from the outer edges of this square with deeper colors and then fade to the lighter version of the color. So I'm going to take green, which is red's opposite, and I'm going to work it from the outer edge and fade it by taking pressure off the pencil as I work towards the middle of the square. It almost shouldn't look like there's any green in the middle of the square. Green is red's opposite, so it's going to help red darken naturally. Next, I'll take my red again, and I'm going to overlap the green and do the same exact thing I just did with the green. And when they mix, I'm going to get a deeper, more brick-like red. It's a natural thing that happens to red when it darkens, and you're going to see that the red becomes dominant and the green helps darken it. Typically when in younger ages we think black helps darken everything, but it's actually colors that can naturally help darken. See, if I just color red really intensely, it doesn't get darker, it just becomes a vibrant bright red. That's not showing dark values. So testing out the colors like this helps you achieve new and different colors. I laid down yellow. Its opposite is violet. So I'm going to put a really light coat of violet on the outer edges, soften them in. And then I'm going to coat over with yellow. You're probably going to get this kind of steel-like green color. We'll be doing the same with the blue. We're going to take its opposite, orange, fade that. And then we're going to bring the blue back over it. And we'll get this deep kind of midnight blue occurring. So this really helps you with pressure. Now, black and white aren't actually colors, they're tones. So I'm not even going to use a white color pencil. I'm going to use the white of the paper. And I'm going to learn to shade and fade with just black. And if a highlight needs to be pulled out, I can actually erase it out in color pencil quite nicely. In the second section, we're going to talk about color temperatures. So we're going to take a base color, and the base color is located in the middle of your square. So mine's red in the first square here. I'm going to put a decent base of red. So this is going to take a couple coats by me to get a decent red in there. So you'll see I'm applying it in several different directions, but keeping a balanced coverage of the red. So stay loose with the pencil. Now, there's an O attached to an R. R means red, O means orange. So I'm going to take orange here and fade it from the outer edge towards the middle, back to red. And the V means violet. So I'm going to fade the violet from the outer edge towards the middle. And then the last step, I'm going to take the original red and I'm going to coat over everything to give everything a nice mix and overall combination of colors. And you're able to create, again, transitions of cooler versions of red to warmer versions of red. We're going to do the same thing with the yellow here. There's an O attached to the Y there, so that means adding orange on the outer edge, and the G means green. So I'm going from like a lime green more to a fiery yellow. And again, I'll bring the yellow in at the end to help that transition. In the blue section, go ahead and put a nice coat of blue. I'm going to start with green on the left side. Again, fading it not just stopping with the color, but fading it away. And I'll start with the violet on the other end. You get more of a marine blue to a more intense sea blue as well. We'll start with the green here, apply yellow for more of a deep lime green, and then blue on the other side for a more forest green. And again, using my green to mix it all together in the end. These steps are important for you to learn so you can get really good fills of color. And the rest is pretty self-explanatory. Starting with violet, adding red, and adding blue on one side. Lastly, we'll do orange. There's several more colors you could always attempt with this. I picked more of the most popular ones we'll be using. Adding red, you get a red-orange here, and then a yellow on the other side. So you get these very fiery colors. In the third section, we're going to talk about how you can use coloring to act as shading to create more of a three-dimensional form. So we're going to turn this circle into a sphere, and I'm creating the rings of light and shadow. There's a couple markers: the highlight, the medium tone, the dark tone, and the cast shadow. So we're going to go from the dark tone and fade to the highlight and I'm just using black here as my example. I'm going to shape around the shape of the circle and fade towards the highlight from all the different directions of the circle. You'll see that I'm actually curving with the shape of the sphere and fading at the same time. So I'm putting all those techniques you were just learning in one shot now. So again, going from my more extreme darks to my mid grays. Then I have a cast shadow here, which I start with a dark gray and then I get really intense where it meets the sphere and then fade it out. If you get a nice mix of this, you're going to see that you'll create a 3D form. And if your highlight doesn't stand out enough, use an eraser to pull out more highlight, and you can always soften transitions then. This is great practice to learn how to shade three-dimensional forms. And then the smaller spheres, use the main color that I'm suggesting there, so red here, and then there's blue, and then you can use your choice on the other spheres of any colors you want. But like the other exercises, I'm going to start with red here, fade it to my highlight like in the example in the black and white version above, and then I'm going to take red's complement to darken it, just like I did in the first part. So I'm going to take green, and I'm going to apply it in the darkest areas and then fade it quickly away. So this is again some review from the first part of this worksheet. And you're going to notice that the red deepens and I get more three-dimensional effects happening there as well. Continue this on to do the other spheres as well. I won't show you that here, but I'll show you the finished worksheet as we move forward. And this is a great time for you to practice and work on your skill sets, getting sensitive with colors, learning how to use pencil pressure, and get fabulous blends. Here are some colors I attempted there, a little turquoise and orange at the end. Good luck, everyone.